Chapter 94. O Lord, you God to whom vengeance belongs, you God to whom vengeance belongs, shine forth. Lift up yourself, you judge of the earth. Render to the proud your recompense. Lord, how long how long shall the wicked exult? They gush out, they speak arrogancy, all the workers of iniquity bear themselves loftily. They crush your people, O Lord, and afflict your heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger, and murder the fatherless. And they say, the Lord will not see, neither will the God of Jacob give heed. Consider, you brutish among the people, and you fools, when will you understand? He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that instructs nations, shall he not correct? Even he that teaches man knowledge? The Lord knows the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Happy is the man whom you instruct, O Lord, and teach out of the law, and teach out of your law, that you may give him rest from the days of evil, until the pit be digged for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. For right shall return unto justice, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had soon dwelt in silence. If I say, my foot slips, your mercy, O Lord, holds me up. When my cares are many within me, your comforts delight my soul. Shall the seed of the wickedness have fellowship with you, which frameth mischief by statute? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemn innocent blood. But the Lord hath been my high tower, and my God the rock of my refuge. And he hath brought upon them their own iniquity, and will cut them off in their own evil. The Lord our God will cut them off. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. We got here a psalm, a beautiful song, I like to say. First, I'd like to apologize for the last several chapters. We've had some audio trouble here, and we've had to face the adversity of it. So I'm sorry about I'm hoping this one comes in a little better. Trying to make it better every day. But here we're in verse 1. We're going to go ahead and pick it up there. O Lord, you God to whom vengeance belongs, you God to whom vengeance belongs, shine forth. And it's Hashem, the holy name. This one who exists, God. Well, this word God is the Elohim. The word God, I ain't going to say it doesn't appear. If it does, it's going to be in the form of a little g, because God's something that men make. We're not talking about a God. I know I use that word quite a bit myself. But he is the only one. God is one. He is the existing one. He is the Almighty, the mighty one, we could say, whom vengeance belongs. Vengeance belongs to the Lord. Vengeance belongs to God. You God, to whom vengeance belongs, shine forth. Bring your vengeance forth. We'll see that God done has. God done has. His judgment and our form of judgment are slightly different. God's always got a way, going to make a way for you to have another chance to turn. God don't want to destroy your soul. He wants you to live, too. Lift up yourself, you judge of the earth. Render to the proud their recompense. But lift yourself up, Lord, you judge of the earth. We're going to find out in the end. God is the judge, and it's his law you'll answer to. The judge of the earth, because that's who he is. Render to the proud their recompense. Give them what they got coming. It's their rightful recompense. It's their reward, we should say. To the proud. Proud are going to be simply those that exalt themselves, those that want to think they're, we all have an authority in life as we go forth in life, and we're hoping that authority over us takes the rightful charge according to the law of God. But when they don't, when they violate God's law and start afflicting the innocent, as we're getting ready to see, then, it becomes a question of just what kind of authority are they and how much authority do they really have? 3, Lord, how long shall the wicked, and how long shall the wicked exalt? Twice here, because just how long are the wicked going to exalt themselves? These wicked, their statutes, their ordinances, it's all about them. It's all about personal gain. It's all about gold. That what belongs to God anyway. Even those that, there's two there, and we can witness them both. One exacts against the soul, and one exacts against the man, and they work together. 4, they gush out, they speak arrogancy. All the workers of iniquity bear themselves loftily. They gush out, they speak arrogancy. They want to think they're over somebody. They exact an authority. They establish an authority to exact. We're going to find out all the workers of iniquity bear themselves loftily. All the workers of iniquity, perversion, bear themselves loftily. They raise themselves up. They exalt themselves over somebody. They say, hey, I'm your boss. I don't work for you. 5. They crush your people, O Lord, and afflict your heritage, and they do. They crush God's people. We'll find out God made the soul. God made man. If you follow God's law, keep God's instruction, keep God's ordinances, God's going to put an end to them. It's what it was for in the beginning. Because they afflict the Lord's heritage. They afflict that inheritance. That's that generation that observes God's understanding. It's a very simple thing. You want to do away with the wicked? You want to do away with this? Keep the law. For they slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. And they do. They slay the widow and the stranger and the murderer. They murder the fatherless. The widow and the fatherless, that's the one. The widow's once lost her husband. That's her keeper. That's her tender, as it's referred to. A husband is someone who tends to something. A gardener can be considered a husbandman. Somebody who tends cattle is a husbandman. Somebody that has a wife's a husbandman. See, the coalition there is the tender. He keeps, he helps provide for, or watches out for the weeds, plucks the weeds out of the way. And this fatherless, that would be the offspring of him. He's gone. He's been taken out of the way. Why? But his authority's been taken away. And the stranger, the one they slay, he's the one who's come in to sojourn with. A stranger's not somebody who is homeborn, so to speak. They didn't raise up in the understanding, but they've come to it. We'll find out. God brings them by the way. God leads. And they follow God. It's all the same thing. 7. And they say, the Lord will not see, neither will the God of Jacob give heed. And they say, the Lord will not see. Yah will not see. The one will not see. Neither will this God of Jacob give heed. Well, first of all, they don't know who God is. They think God is some kind of stick and stone that, like the other people, fall down to. Well, this was a little deception the Lord used against them, see, to fool them. They think that he's like that. Well, we'll find out. The Lord's not like that. 8. Consider, you brutish among the people, and you fools, when will you understand? Now, consider that, you brutish. Oh, you ones that love to exalt yourself. You love to try to control others. Why? Mostly because you don't know how to control yourself. You're fools. When will you understand? One must have self-control. One must, if you can't keep the law, you love to exact it upon others, though. We'll find we got the evidence. It's written in the statutes of men, ordinances of men. They make laws, but they don't want to keep God's law. 9. He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that planted the ear, of course we don't plant ears. If we could plant ears and grow ears, well, that'd be a wonderful thing. But he that fixed the ear or established the ear is what this says. Fixed it to the side of your head. There it is. It's a nice little thing, too, and it allows us to hear. If God made the ear, don't you think God could hear? He obviously made the ear so you could. He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that formed the eye, this formed even made it. Squoze it into shape, positioned it in its socket even, the eye, that which perceives. God made perception. God gave several different ways to look at it. It's not just one way of looking at it. We'll find out. We all have eyes. We all have the ability to see. Not just one can see and say, hey, this is the way you got to go, and then they lead you off in paths of wickedness. Don't you think God can see too? 10. He that instructs nations, shall not he correct? Even he that teaches man knowledge? Now the one that instructs nations, he's got them in the course of time. And he raises them up, and he throws them down, using them for examples, bouncing them along like balls up and down, correcting them, giving them a chance to turn, giving them away. God does. It's the way God works. He works with nations just like he does with people. Even he that teaches man knowledge, even the one that teaches man knowledge, he works with man just like he does with nations. There's one law, it's for all, man and nation. The Lord corrects with his understanding. And sooner or later, we get the lesson from the example that he's made. 11. The Lord knows the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. The Lord knows, the Almighty, the existing one. He knows your thoughts of man, these thoughts of man. Don't you think God can hear? They're vanity. They're a waste of time. Don't go that way. No, you're wasting your time again, and again. You're wasting your time choosing that same dead-end path. When it's obvious you just won't take responsibility for yourself, stand up, obey the law of God, keep the ordinance of God, do the right thing, do good in the earth. Quit treating everybody like they owe you something. Because you're doing them a favor, telling them what to do, leading them down paths of unrighteousness. There's God, then there's you. There's God, and there's you. And those that agree with God, we have to recognize. But those that don't agree with God, those that don't keep the ordinances of God, we just don't have to recognize. Because why? They refuse to recognize us. They refuse to recognize God. 12. Happy is the man whom you instruct, O Lord, and teach out of your law. Teach out of your law. And happy is the man. Happy is the man, Lord, that you instruct, that you give knowledge, that you teach with your law, with God's law. See, that's God's ordinances, God's statutes, his commandments that he gives us for our own good. O Lord, instruct us in them. 13. That you may give him rest from the days of evil until the pit be digged for the wicked. That you may give him a little rest from the days of evil, even all these understandings of evil. Obviously, we constantly have been in the earth. It's nothing changed yet. Nothing's changed yet. And it ain't going to change until this pit be digged for the wicked. And it has been. We've dug the pit. It's there. You just be cast in it. 14. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. No, the Lord's not going to cast off his people, those that keep his law, that keeps his understanding, that does what he says. You think God's just going to throw them to the side? They suffer at the hand of the wicked, not at the hand of God. He don't forsake his inheritance. He don't forsake his people. He's not like man. He wouldn't sell you off for bits of gold and silver, a treasure, and what good is it to God? It all belongs to him anyway. God's for your good. 15. Or the Lord is for your good. 15. For right shall return unto justice, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. For right, correctness shall return unto justice. Justice is, of course, we have a set of scales. We can look at it like that. We weigh it out. We figure out which side's got the most. Is it? See, that's the way justice is represented. Of course, when we start throwing gold on the scale, the balance is tipped quickly. But not with God's law. See, with God's law, it's just, it's fair, it's correct, it's straightforward, it's simple, it's plain, it's given to everybody, it's put even on your heart. So you got some simple understanding. And all the upright in heart shall follow it. All the right, those that are correct, they're going to do it. 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? You want to rise up against them? You want to stand up against them? You're outnumbered. We'll find out you're outnumbered. You stand up by yourself. You want to stand up with these workers of iniquity, these workers of perversion? Face the multitudes. Face the multitudes. In their ignorance even. They're going to be thinking they're going to be doing the right thing when they slay you, when they beat you down. 17. Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had soon dwelt in silence. But we better count on God for a little help here. We better let God go ahead and go before us. We'll keep the law. We'll do the right thing. And we're going to find out. The Lord's going to go before us. He's going to be our help. And my soul, because if he hadn't been my help, my soul had soon dwelt in silence. This silence here is to be stupid. The words are Duma. And Duma, it's to be silent. And it comes from to be dumb, or to be just found without any knowledge at all, to be ignorant. But we'll find out. It was the call of the Lord in the law. And I heard that. I remembered. And it reminded me, he is God. There is no other. 18. If I say my foot slips, your mercy, O Lord, holds me up. And if I say, Lord, I may fall here, God's mercy. It's God's strength that carries me and holds me up, gets me through. 19. And when my cares are many within me, your comforts delight my soul. When it all starts weighing down, feels like I'm carrying a load on my shoulder. Got that pack on again, all that trouble everybody wants to load me down with. God's comforts, his delight, his comforts delight my soul. It's where I throw the pack off. And I see that's about as far as I'm going with it, Lord. 20. Shall the seed of wickedness have fellowship with you, which frames mischief by statute? Shall the seed of wickedness have fellowship with you? The seed of wickedness. Well, that's These which frame mischief by statute, that's law, that statute's law, man's law, his understanding, his worthless knowledge. He calls it justice. You think you're going to have a seat there with God in your perverted understanding of justice? You load your pockets with gold. You prey on the sick. You prey on the weak. You prey on the fatherless, the stranger. You know, the ignorance of law is no excuse. 21. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. And that's what we find them doing, gathering themselves against the soul of the righteous, trying to cut him off in the way. Oh, what? Oh, he keeps the law? Oh, he's righteous? He's just? We'll make him an offender. Create a statute, and there he is, found guilty. But by whose law? You condemn innocent blood? By whose law? 22. But the Lord hath been my high tower, and my God the rock of my refuge. Yeah, the Lord's my high tower. He's my place of defense. I'm going to run and hide there. And if you get too close to the door, I'm going to drop a rock on your head. And my God, he is the rock. 23. And he hath brought upon them their own iniquity, and he will cut them off in their own evil. The Lord our God will cut them off. And he hath brought upon them their own iniquity, their own understanding, curdled up in them. By the multitudes of their written ordinances and laws are they brought down. He will cut them off in their own evil, this wickedness they try to do against the children of God. Nobody died and left anybody in charge. God's still here. The Lord our God, he will cut them off. And that's exactly what's going to happen, my friends. As we move forward to Psalms 95, turn and return.